Hello guys, Robert1 here coming at you with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and just like in the last Yu-Gi-Oh video where we opened the Slifer the Sky Dragon structure deck, in this video we are going to be opening the Obelisk the Tormentor structure deck and showcasing you a £30 deck profile from the cards that we get inside the structure deck. So in today's video, going to be opening this up, going to be giving you guys a bit of a deck profile to give you guys an idea of what you can actually make with just the free Obelisk the Tormentor structure decks, and we're pretty much just going to be opening it, doing a video on it, and hopefully you guys will get some ideas and, you know, like the product, because personally, I really like the Gods product. It's obviously not anything competitive or anything along those lines, but it is a nice product, even though it's not as good as the premium God boxes, prismatic God boxes that were in the OCG. But guys, let's go ahead and open up the Obelisk the Tormentor structure deck now and see what we actually get in this, because I don't know every card in it. I know it's got like a couple of things that I just can't remember, like obviously the new Obelisk the Tormentor, Harpy's Feather Duster, stuff like that. But I'm kind of curious to see what else is in it, because I literally did not even look what was in these structure decks when I bought them, because I was kind of just wanting to be a bit surprised outside, like obviously the new God support. And it's kind of interesting, and obviously as you guys know, you get the mat here. It comes with like product description on the back, to like stuff like that, and then on the front it's got like the Fist of Fate with Thunderful Strike on the other side, for those who don't know what's on that side on the mat. Personally, I think it's a really cool mat. If you can get the rubber version that they're doing at remote OTSs, really cool thing to get, but I'm not looking to get that mat. But anyway, look up that Obelisk the Tormentor himself. Personally, on this kind of colored card, I prefer Slifer, as I said in the previous video, because I feel like it blends more into the brown because it's normally red. But Obelisk still looks pretty fine here, and technically Obelisk is the best Egyptian god card in terms of just like what it does, because it will tribute 2 monsters, destroy all monsters your opponent controls, and also it's just a 4K beat stick, so biggest attack, biggest guaranteed attack, and is pretty much just a Raigeki. But anyway, let's actually go into this and open it up, see what we can get, or see what we do get from it, because I only know a couple cards in the structure decks. I didn't really take a big look thinking about what is in it, but let's go ahead, open this up, see what's in it, and see what cards we're going to be potentially putting into our £30 budget god deck that we're going to be putting against the other one that we opened, which was the Slifer god deck. So obviously, starting off, we get Obelisk the Tormentor, main monster of the deck, nothing really to say there. We also get Soul Crossing, so both structure decks does have Soul Crossing, or exchanging the souls for you OCG players out there. This is just a really cool card for those who don't know, where when you activate it, you can tribute monsters on your opponent's field and your own field to go ahead and special summon an Egyptian god, well, tribute summon an Egyptian god from your hand. So just a really good card. The only downside to it is that you can't activate or resolve, you can't activate cards or effects except Divine Beast effects, except for one, after this card resolves. So just a really strong card though if you're playing a god deck. We also get Fist of Fate. Just a really cool card, just like Thunderful Strike. This is very similar to that, but it's the opposite, where it cannot be negated just like that. If you control Obelisk the Tormentor, negate the effects of one face-up monster your opponent controls, and if you do, destroy it. And if you do that, for the rest of this turn, the effects of that monster are negated, as well as the activated effects and cards of the same field of the monsters with the same original name. And if you activate this during your main phase, destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. So pretty much it's just a Harpy's Feather Duster that says, oh, negate the effects of one monster on the field, destroy it, and if you do that, for the rest of this turn, the effects of that monster are negated. So if it goes to the graveyard, it's basically called by the graves by that effect. So you target a Scum, for instance, it goes to the graveyard. During the end phase, it won't be able to search. So just a really cool card in general, which I think is really nice. It's basically just a called by the grave as well, which is just nice. And it does target, which is, well, actually, no, it doesn't target. It doesn't target. Wow, this is better than I originally thought. So it's just basically the opposite of the Slifer one, where the Slifer one would destroy all monsters your opponent controls. This one just goes ahead and destroys all spells and traps if you do it during your main phase. So really good card. It's a good negate card, I would say, if you control Obelisk, and it could actually come in clutch if you play this against the Slifer deck too. So pretty good. Divine Evolution. Now, this one isn't in the Slifer the Sky Dragon deck, and this card is actually a really cool card, because this, in the manga, its first iteration in Yu-Gi-Oh! R, was actually a card that was used to increase the rankings of the gods. So, the evil gods and the normal gods would increase their ranking if you use Divine Evolution, putting them on the same level of the Wind Dragon of Ra, or Wind Dragon of Ra, up to a whole new plane. But this card is pretty cool as well. Let's go ahead and read it. So, this card's activation and effects cannot be negated. Choose one monster you control whose original type is Divine Beast, or whose original name is Wicked Avatar, the Wicked Dreadru, or the Wicked Eraser. Obviously, the Wicked Dreadru, Avatar, and Eraser aren't Divine Beasts, because Konami only have 4 Divine Beast monsters, counting Horuka. So they had to include that because they are the evil gods. Except a monsters already affected. Sorry, I don't know. Except a monster's already affected by Divine Evolution. So you can't target a monster that's already been targeted by this effect. I'll start in there. And it gains 1,000 attack, its effects, activations, and its activated effects cannot be negated. Also, it gains the following effect. When this card declares an attack, you can make your opponent send one monster they control to the graveyard, their choice. So, pretty much, this card is really cool for a couple of reasons. One, it just makes every god card in existence, so Slifer, Winged Dragon of Ra, Obelisk, and Tormentor, bigger and unnegatable, which is just insane, and seeing as they are gods, it does make sense to have that kind of thing. But also, when any god attacks, this card just says your opponent sends cards to the graveyard and you make them choose. So if they only have one monster on the board, this card can out pretty much any card in the game if you target an Egyptian god card. So, well, if you attack with the Egyptian god that this is used on, you can't target anything else. So that's actually just a really cool card in my personal opinion. It's a really awesome card to see Konami release into the game, and I'm happy to see it. But what is this? Level Resist Wall. Normal trap. If a monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, target one of those monsters, special summon monsters from your deck in defense position, so their combined levels equal the level of that monster, but negate their effects. Wait. So, if a monster you control is destroyed by battle or opponent's card effect, so you can so if like a level 10 is destroyed, you can special summon two level 4s and a level 2. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Angel 01. I don't know what this does. It looks different to the other Angel in the Slifer structure deck. What does this do? So you can special summon this card from your hand by revealing one level 7 or higher monster from your hand. You can only special summon one Angel 01 once per turn this way. While you control this special summon card, you attribute one level 7 or higher monster in attack position during your main phase in addition to your normal summons set. Okay, so you basically just reveal a god, special summon this, and you can then get an additional tribute summon. That's actually pretty good, not gonna lie. That's actually very nice. Meh. Interesting reprint. Okay, and the obvious Harpy's Feather Duster reprint, which we already knew was in this. So that's interesting though, the Meh. I don't know why that's here. And we go into the cards now that aren't really, you know, there. So, well, are now just new. So first off, we got Nimble Mumanga. Wait, there's only one Nimble Mumanga? How do you expect to use the Nimble Mumanga? Is it just there so you can gain 1,000 life points then? Because when it's destroyed, you gain 1,000 life points? Okay, interesting choice. Bazoo the Soul Eater for those goat players out there. Cyber Dragon, that's actually a pretty good reprint. Wait, what? There's the other Nimble, okay, Nimble Mumanga. Okay, so they just, the deck wasn't in the right order? Like, are they all next to each other on the thing? Yeah, they're all next to each other. That's weird. Hardened Armed Dragon. This was actually a card that was used with Egyptian god cards back in the day, because it basically makes level 8 or higher monsters unaffected, if I remember correctly. So, if you tribute summon this card for a tribute summon or a level higher, that monster cannot be destroyed by a card effect. Yeah. Super Nimble Mega Hamster. Alright, interesting. Evil Swarm Mandora, Photon Saber Panther. When this card is normal or flip summoned, you can add one Photon Saber Tiger from your deck to your hand. Okay, so it just brings back stuff. Oh, more tigers. Evil Swarm Salamandra, Ra's Disciple. This is like a really good reprint just for god decks in general, and you should get free. Yeah, you get all three Ra's Disciple. Like, you need free because when you summon him, you basically get to special summon 2 more copies of him, but you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except divine base monsters, or you just can't special summon them. You just can't special summon monsters. Yeah, just really good card though. Unmasked Dragon. When this card is destroyed, special summon a worm. Actually, can you special summon No, you can't, because it's wait, is it defense? What's the defense of Merman? Oh, okay, so you can summon Merman off Unmasked Dragon. That's actually something I might try to do for the Obelisk deck. That's kind of cool. Nimble Beaver, that's actually pretty good. Summons any Nimble monster from the deck. Condemned Witch searches any forbidden card. The Gizmek Uka, that's actually a really nice reprint, not gonna lie, because it's only had a secret printing, so I believe it might have had an ultra printing. I don't think it only had a secret. Gizmek Dog, I'm not gonna read it. This is for Pot of Extravagant stuff. Brain Control. Yeah, I'm just gonna steal my opponent's God card. That's pretty good. Monster Reborn, nice. Different Dimension Capsule. Not bad. Like, you banish one card from your deck after this card's activation. It remains on the field. Destroy this card during your second standby phase, and if you do, add the card to your hand. Pretty good. Pot of Avarice, good reprints there. Double Summon, well, we already have the Angel 01, right? So we're not going to need Double Summon. Forbidden Chalice, so that's what the Condemned Witch is for, to search this. Forbidden Lance as well. Forbidden Dress, so you just have all the cards to search. Supply Squad, alright, not bad, not bad. Monarch Stormforth, pretty good, but we already have Exchanging Souls, so we don't really need this. Call of the Haunted, nice reprint, just to get free revivals. Cloning, alright. Drowning Mirror Force, that's actually a pretty nice reprint too, just for Mirror Forces in general. And then that's it for the structure deck. Like, you got the Fist of Fate, and then the King's Court promo on the back, and then just like promos for Duel Links, and Legacy of the Duelist. But not bad. Like, honestly, this structure deck seems pretty decent for reprints. I would say the reprints are probably better than the slifer structure deck, to be kind of honest with you. But like, honestly, we need to see how these decks will turn out, though. I'm now going to go ahead and put the free structure decks together now. We're going to build a deck. I'm going to showcase you the deck profile, and we're going to see how good it will be. So, guys, let's go ahead and move over to the deck profile portion, so you can go ahead and see what the an actual deck you can make with just the free structure decks in general. Alright guys, so I have put the free structure decks together, as you can see all the bulk here, and figured out a list for the Obelisk the Tormentor deck that will be used in a future video for a duel against the guards. And honestly, I think this deck is a lot better than the Slifer the Sky Dragon structure deck. Well, for pretty much a couple of reasons. One, this deck technically has a lot more monsters to just go ahead and beat down your opponent. And two, it just has a lot more utility cards, which I think is actually going to be really hard for the Slifer the Sky Dragon deck to beat. So we're going to be going ahead though, showing you guys this deck profile, giving you guys an idea of what you can make with just 3 Obelisk the Tormentor Egyptian God structure decks, and give you guys, well, just an idea of what you can actually make with it, because this is just free structure decks. This is £30. This is something you can do with your mates, and if you want to go against Slifer and then Obelisk, if you just want to do this with your mates, then this is just a good thing to do. And hell, if you don't even want to just use free structure decks, this is still a fun thing to do nonetheless. So hopefully you guys will enjoy. Hopefully you will see the guard of Obelisk the Tormentor structure deck and think, oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe I'll do that with a mate myself, and maybe I'll build it this way, or stuff like that, and you'll just get an idea for yourself. But guys, enough of me rambling on. Let's go ahead and showcase you the £30 free structure decks deck profile for Obelisk the Tormentor. So, starting off, we obviously play 3 of Obelisk the Tormentor himself. Obviously, this is a brick to see in your hand at multiples, so you don't want to see him in your hand at multiples, but there is no way in this deck to actually search him, because like going through all of the staple cards in this deck, the only real way to guarantee him in your hand is Different Dimension Capsule, but that takes 2 turns, and I felt like that wasn't really necessary, so I thought, okay, I'll just put 3 Obelisk the Tormentor into the structure deck, and honestly, opening it isn't even that bad, because there are a lot of cards in the deck that actually can use level 7 or higher monsters to their advantage, so Obelisk at 3 isn't actually that bad to see on multiples, and he's actually just really, really strong. And hell, if you can somehow manage to get 2 of them on the board, which is actually possible in this deck, it's fine. But 3 Obelisk the Tormentor, you kind of have to play 3, because there's not really any way to guarantee a search of him, because obviously this deck doesn't have the true name like the Slifer the Sky Dragon deck does, so 3 Obelisk the Tormentor. Next, the main way we're probably going to be summoning the Obelisk the Tormentor, the Ra's Disciples. Whenever you normal summon Ra's Disciples, especially summons more copies of itself from the deck, so you just go ahead and normal it. If you have like Cross Souls in your hand, or you have the new Fair Angel 01, you can just go ahead and reveal what you first you go ahead and normal this, reveal it. Well, sorry, you reveal Angel 01 in your hand. special summon it, then you normal summon this, and then what you do is basically summon 2 more copies, and then you go ahead and tribute into your Obelisk the Tormentor. But pretty much gives you 3 monsters instantly. If you have Crossing Souls in your hand or an additional way to normal summon in your hand, this just guarantees Obelisk the Tormentor turn 1, and the Slifer the Sky Dragon doesn't have Ra's Disciples, so this is the best way to do it. Next, Free Condemned Witch. This card is actually really good for a couple of reasons in this deck. One, you can, during your opponent's turn, banish it to just go ahead and special summon Ra's Disciple from your deck, and then summon more Ra's Disciple from your deck. And two, basically, when this is normal summons, you get to search any forbidden card from your deck. So this is forbidden, literally Forbidden Chalice or Forbidden Lance to your hand to go ahead and basically have more forbidden cards and more utility cards in your deck. So it basically gives you access into cards to stop your opponent from being able to do anything, while also giving you access into your Ra's Disciple as well, which is really nice in terms of just like a Yu-Gi-Oh card overall. Next though, we play 3 Masked Dragon and 1 Meh. The reason we're doing this is because whenever Masked Dragon is destroyed by battle, you can go ahead and special summon a worm from your deck. So pretty much if this dies, you special summon another copy, special summon multiple copies until, well, you can't do anything with them, because obviously if your opponent attacks all 3 of them, you go ahead and special summon them until it's the last one, and then the last monster you summon is the Meh, because the Meh can give you multiple tokens to go ahead and then tribute those tokens into Obelisk the Tormentor, basically giving you more access into tribute fodder for Obelisk the Tormentor. Like the whole reason behind this deck is that you might not be able to make Obelisk turn 1, so basically get as many monsters as you can to guarantee a way to get you to Obelisk the Tormentor as soon as possible on following turns. So that's kind of like the way I've kind of built this deck. Next, Free Nimble Manga, same reason as the Masked Dragons, it dies, it summons 2 more copies of itself from the deck, and it also gives us a bit of life gain regeneration, which is really nice. And then next we also play the 3 Angels 01, because as I said earlier, you can reveal a level 7 or higher monster, your Egyptian God card, special summon this card from the hand, and then you contribute 1, and then while this card you control, once per turn this way, while you control this special summon card, you can tribute 1 level 7 or higher monster in attack position during your main phase in addition to your normal summon set. So pretty much you go ahead and special summon this, you have multiple monsters on the board, and if you've got Obelisk in the hand, you go ahead and tribute straight into Obelisk, and that gives you the big monster on board, which is really nice in the deck. But those are all the main deck monsters. This deck obviously has a lot more main deck monsters than the Slifer the Sky Dragon, and honestly, I would probably prefer to run a lot of these in the Slifer deck than what I am running in the Slifer deck. But still though, I feel like all of these cards are really necessary and are very useful for what the deck does. So all of those are the monsters. Going on to spells though, we obviously play the 3 Crossing Soul card. Is absolutely insane, allowing us to tribute not only our own monsters but our opponent's monsters to just go ahead and get Obelisk the Tormentor out. Literally, if we open this with Obelisk and Ra's Disciple, it's just a turn 1 Obelisk the Tormentor, so that's just really strong. So you want to be playing 3 of this, and also you can do it during your opponent's turn, so you can just tribute their monsters and then tribute Obelisk on their turn, so which is really nice. 2 Fist of Fate, it's literally Called by the Grave / Harpy's Feather Duster while you control Obelisk the Tormentor. It's not searchable, so I wanted to play it at 2, and if you do draw it, it can be a brick if you don't have Obelisk on the board, but I feel like the risk is worth it, just being a really strong card to pop any card your opponent controls and also negate their effects for that turn. It's just really strong. And 1 Divine Evolution, because, well, Divine Evolution is a very risky card that obviously is just as risky as the Fist of Fate because you have to control the Tormentor, but I felt like this was way more risky for the fact that 1, it's sure it can boost Obelisk to 5k, but if you don't have Obelisk, it's not going to do anything. And I didn't want to run tons of different cards that are just like bricks when you don't have Obelisk. And also, this isn't a quick play spell, so you can only do it during your turn. So I felt like 2 Fist of Fate, which are quick play spells that can just destroy cards, and also of the Harpy's Feather Duster would be better at playing multiple instead of just Divine Evolution, which can obviously give Obelisk additional attack points, make it untargetable and stuff like that. But it's just like you have to have Obelisk, so it's not going to be useful outside of that. Next though, we play 3 Supply Squad. With the amount of monsters that we're playing that are going to die, like the Masked Dragon and the Nimble Manga and stuff like that, like Supply Squad just giving us that additional draw whenever one of our monsters is destroyed, it's fine, it's good. If we have all 3 up, we get free draws. It's pretty good, plus gets us to our Obelisk the Tormentor a little easier. We also play 3 Forbidden Chalice. Basically, you want to be able to negate your opponent's cards, and this card says you can negate your opponent's cards. To do this on a Slifer the Sky Dragon, that Slifer the Sky Dragon now has 0 attack and defense, so this card is just going to be a win con against Slifer, and it's just really, really strong. 2 Forbidden Lance, because Forbidden Lance is also really a good card, and it's another searcher from our Condemned Witch, where we can just target one of our own monsters to prevent our opponent from affecting us with spells or traps, or you can just go ahead and decrease your opponent's monster by like 800, and then just make your opponent take some damage, stopping them from killing your monsters, so on and so forth. And then 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, clear the back row, it's always a good card. And 1 Monster Reborn to basically revive any of our stuff in Grave, really, because we've got a lot of different things we can revive. And we can even revive Obelisk the Tormentor if we really wanted to. So we play 1 Monster Reborn. But that's all the spell cards. This obviously has a lot of spell cards and a lot of monsters. But honestly, I like it. I like this a lot. But going on to trap cards though, if we do open really bad, we have 3 Drowning Mirror Force. So if we do open just like no way to play the game, like no monsters, just spells and traps, then we can just go ahead and set the Drowning Mirror Force. Our opponent attacks directly. We put their big monsters back into the deck and watch them suffer. And then the last 2 cards we play is 2 Level Resist. Now, the reason why we're playing Level Resist is because, well, it's a very simple reason. So you see Ra's Disciple. You summon this and you don't have Obelisk the Tormentor in hand. Well, you go ahead and normal Ra's Disciple. You summon your 3 copies from deck. Your opponent attacks all of them. You now have no Ra's Disciple left. Now, Ra's Disciple does also say you cannot special summon monsters except by Ra's Disciple's effect. But the whole point of this is, if your Ra's Disciple dies, your last Ra's Disciple dies, you can go ahead and special summon 2 Nimble Moomanga from your deck, or you can go ahead and special summon a Angel 01 and a Masked Dragon, or you can summon, like, I don't know, a Condemned Witch. Just all these different things from your deck to give you basically protection, or you can give yourself more basically backup. And hell, if you really wanted to, you could go ahead and summon 1 Nimble Moomanga and like 2 Angel 01, just so you can have more monsters on the board. So that gives you basically 6 attacks to protect against if your literally level 4 monster is killed at any point in time. So I was kind of thinking about it quite a bit when I was like, what could I be doing with Level Resist? Because it seemed like an interesting card, and it seems like a card that's actually pretty decent in terms of just like a battle trap that says when your monster dies, you get to summon multiple monsters from the deck. But honestly, thinking about it though, I found that this card was actually really, really strong, and if you do use this against anything that kills any of your monsters, that's just really cool. And if your Obelisk the Tormentor dies, well, you're going to be summoning out literally like multiple cards, like 2 Condemned Witch, 2 Masked Dragon and a Condemned Witch, like multiple Nimble Mangas, Angels. You could summon literally up to 5 monsters. You could summon 2, if your Obelisk dies, you could summon your 3 Nimble Moomangers, you could summon 1 Angel, and you could summon 1 Masked Dragon, like, Unmasked Dragon. Like, it's just really, really insane what this card can do in the Obelisk deck, that I was like, yeah, we have to play at least 2 of this, so we put 2 in. But yeah, that is the Obelisk the Tormentor deck though, guys. You're going to be seeing the Obelisk deck and the Slifer deck in action, hopefully next week or at some point in the near future. I've just got to work out times with my friend so we can go ahead and get a duel in and go ahead and do a match to see whose deck is going to be superior. There might be a few changes to these decks though, because if one of us does get the deck or the deck we prefer, we might be like, we want to make a few changes. These are just my interpretations of the decks, but guys, that is just all I have for this video. So guys, tell me what your thoughts are on the Obelisk the Tormentor £30 budget structure deck in the comments section below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions, because Obelisk, he is one of the best guard cards. He is literally considered the best good card in the game for the fact that he's just a 4K beat stick that can Raigeki your opponent's board. And yeah, that's all I really have to say though. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the links in the description to my Instagram, where I post stuff, my not Patreon, my Discord, all links in the description to anything like that. And I'll see you guys in the next one for a cool duel video, or maybe a different kind of video. Who knows? But thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Robot1 signing out. Later all.